Staying at the fam camps are one of our favorites. We really like it because they're usually beautiful scenery. They have nice sites, a little inexpensive compared to off base. Not to mention, we get to pick up our groceries, maybe do some shopping at the exchange, hit the gym. I mean, there's a plethora of stuff to do here. So we hope you enjoyed this tour of White Sands Missile Range. We are at the White Sands Missile Range Fam Camp. To stay at a fam camp, you must be retired military, and there's a few other exceptions, so check the website to see if you meet that criteria. Fred and I came to this area to visit the White Sands National Park. We could have stayed at Holloman Air Force Base or the White Sands Missile Range. Both are very close to the national park. We chose White Sands Missile Range over Holloman Air Force Base because you can reserve your site here at the missile range, where Holloman is a first come, first serve. So you're taking your chances. And we all have learned by now, Fred's a planner. We were super stoked when we arrived here, as the views from the campsites are stunning. You can't beat the price here either. For $15, you get a pull-through site. 50, 30, 20 full hookups. Water, sewer, and electric. For $15, what a deal, what a bargain. This is a small campground. There are only 8 sites here. Each site comes with your very own pavilion and picnic table. Each site also has its very own grill. They have overflow parking that allows you access for electric only at $10 a night. Right beside the park is the White Sands Missile Range Memorial Park. It was dedicated to the honor of those who have served our nation in times of war and peace. It's a beautiful park where you can walk your dog, just a hop, skip, and a jump from your site, where you can have a picnic under these beautiful shade trees. There are pavilions with picnic tables here. It's a beautiful park. There are a couple of horseshoe pits in the park as well. There's even a huge playground for the kids. What an amazing memorial park. There's a lodge here that you can rent for $50 a night if you want to have a big hoedown. There are restrooms at the lodge with a shower if you want to utilize them. There are dumpsters situated right outside the campground road, so you can walk your trash right here. If you are headed to the White Sands National Park, remember to check the website because they do close down for missile range practice from time to time. If you are a fitness buff, the exercise trail is right beside the campground as well. Remember to check out the MWR while you are here. There's tons to do, driving ranges, outdoor activities. So when you're checking in, see what they have to offer at MWR. Checking out the White Sands Missile Museum. Fred's checking out the topographical map.
Read about the Native Americans who used to live here.
Someone for Nikita to play with, you said?
Ooh, this one.
We better watch out at night that Nikita doesn't get out. They have the White Sands Missile Range Hall of Fame. It was created in 1990, recognizing former missile range civilian, military, and contract personnel.
July 1945 on the Trinity site.
So they actually take you out to the Trinity site twice a year here. So he said usually in April and October.
This helmet was given to the White Sands Missile Range by Ben Burt of Lucasfilms. An appreciation for the assistance he received in collecting sounds for the studio's sound library. He visited the range twice in 1976 to collect sounds of various missiles being test fired, including a Hawk missile, a Lance, and a Nike Tomahawk. He also recorded the sound of a sound wave traveling up and down the tight guy wire on a radio tower. Some of these sounds were used in the movie Star Wars, for which Burt won an Academy Award.
You have your mask on?
I'm masked up.
Which one are you going to carry, the sticks or the head?
I carry the batteries.
Are they lighter?
No.
This unit has worked for how many days without a lost time accident? When you're talking missile, Hawk missile, I think I'd want definitely no loss. And this podium is still used on special occasion by the commanding general officer here.
My fellow Americans, ask not what the country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
A lot of different kinds of missiles. The B-17 propeller with lots of shrapnel damage on it. Wasn't it in the 1950s, 60s they did all this fallout shelter? A lot of people wanted a fallout shelter.
Many parts as they could from the middle.
The mountains are spectacular around here.
Point right to the sea.
I know, but you just have to get that view.
So this V2 is its internal components were clearly marked with labels that would have been visible in various compartment doors of the hold. So in the early 50s, the V2 was mounted vertically for a permanent display. A steel pole was welded into the engine. 11,000 pounds of concrete were poured into the tail section to keep it on the ground and keep it pointing straight up so that, because you get 100-mile-an-hour winds around here. In 2001, the V2 was losing its battle against the wind, sand, and rust, and they decided that they needed to try to save it. So they brought in museum staff from Kansas Cosmosphere Space Center, Hutchinson, Kansas, which had restored several V2s over the years. They came out and looked at it and said, yeah, it's in really bad shape, but it can be saved. It might be the most complete of the 19 existing V2s in the world. In September of 2002, the V2 was moved to Kansas, where it was completely stripped, disassembled, restored, and reassembled with a new skin. And then during the restoration, they built this building around it to protect it from the harsh environment here in New Mexico. What do you think? Should we try to light it up?
It's a great little museum to check out if you're in this area and can get on base. There's your Patriot missile. They have all kinds of representations here, from the Navy to the Army to the Air Force. If you feel like taking a nature trail, they have one right here for you by the museum. Walk through the nature trail, and it has displays that will tell you all about the different vegetation here. There's a coyote. Well, he looks like he's limping. I believe it's windier here than it was in South Texas. The guests are walking over here and making the dog a little bit challenging.
Anybody have any idea how this thing works? If you do, put a comment below.
Not far from the fam camp is a laundrette if you need it. Now it's not marked. The sign's old and gone, pretty much. But the sign that you could look for is the Primo Water, the refill station, and that's where your laundrette will be. You can also look for number 238. That is your laundry building. And check out the view. I love these mountains. So I may not have a hot tub to crawl into while I'm doing the laundry, but my van is right there and I can make some dinner, sit down and have something to eat, or do whatever I want, play cards while we're doing the laundry. Maybe a cocktail, who knows. Your laundromat in here has 4 dryers and 4 washing machines. They take quarters only at $1.50 for the washing machines and $1 for the dryers. Now that we live in a van, I appreciate the bigger washing machines. These washing machines are pretty large. There's a pretty big capacity in this dryer as well. Nikita approved. If you run out of soap, bleach, and softeners, they have Tide, Clorox, Cheer, Downy, and Bounce in here at $1 a piece. They're prepared for you as well if you don't have any quarters. They have a change machine that takes $1, $5, or $10 bills. If you can see Nikita's tail wagging, you'll know it's dog friendly. Take very long to do the laundry?
3 days I've been in this laundromat making laundry. I'm ready to go home. Make some dinner.
But he was a trooper. He helped me out.
Yeah, I cleaned all our magnets.
But I got soap on.
Lots of soap in between them.
Of course, you have a folding table. Your laundromat here is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're staying at the White Sands Missile Range, but after visiting the White Sands National Park, we decided to stop on to Holloman Air Force Base and grab some gas. Blew out my tennis shoes, so we headed down to the exchange, right here on Holloman's Air Force Base. I think we made a good choice. I don't think we would have found a spot here. Plus our views are much better. It's up against the highway and it's dirt. It is a first come, first serve. There's a lot of active duty full-timers here. I'm not sure do you think we would have gotten a site? Let's see.
All right, it's time for the White Sands Missile Range Cellular Service Report. Well, first up, we have T-Mobile at 35.2 megabits per second down and 3.69 megabits per second up. Close second, AT&T, 34.9 megabits per second down and 23.1 megabits per second up. And in last place is Verizon, but still decent numbers, 28.2 megabits per second down and 3.94 megabits per second up. So overall, pretty tied, all good numbers. We could live with those. And lots of stuff to do there. A beautiful, beautiful campground. Really was nice. And all the fam camp amenities, certainly a pleasure to have them so close. And that'll do it for now. We'll talk to you next week.